Hi guys, bit of an update from Spain today. I went to the auction and we're going to head down to Quesada Fish and Chips. We're going to have fish and chips for lunch. But I wanted to bring up a couple of things. First thing is there was a Nazi rubber stamp at the auction, which is a bit unusual. But at €100 it's overpriced because you can actually get one for $75. So one thing I do recommend, a bit of a tip if you are into buying and selling stuff, is your mobile phone's a very, very good tool these days for comparing prices. Although it was funny watching three people trying to see what I'm actually doing on my phone because they know I'd seen something. So quite simply, they were trying to see what I'd seen because obviously it was at the right price, so they'd try and get it before I did. But on the other side of that, it's also a good place to find sometimes better quality stuff. There's a lot of Chinese garbage here in Spain. A bit like this new, what do you call it, phone mount for the car. It already feels like it's broke. It's brand spanking new. It's the first time I've used it, but the clip doesn't stay on, so the phone actually slides off. So another piece of inferior Chinese rubbish. And there's a lot of it here in Spain. I mean, I do recommend having a look at some of the places that will actually send stuff from the UK, from places like Argos even. Argos has got some better stuff than some of the stuff that's available where we are. I'm not saying all Spanish stuff is rubbish, because that's actually wrong. There's a lot of good stuff that's middle range and high quality. But when you get down to just stuff for, say, an apartment rental, auctions are full of it. Get cheap fridges, cheap washing machines, cheap furniture, cheap TV. A lot of stuff you can't even do in the UK anymore due to the health and safety aspects of the electrical appliance testing. But anyway, so that's the auction bit. We're out there today, and I do recommend if you're doing a rental and it's coming unfurnished, just buy your tat from the auction. It's cheap, cheerful, and often a lot more solid than if you bought it brand spanking new. What else have I got today? What else have we done today? Oh, if you're coming over here as a single parent, I'd highly recommend not doing it. Not because I'm trying to put a damper on things, I just want you to be aware that they do change things like the school times. They do find jobs where you have a gap in the afternoon, or if you don't have the gap in the afternoon, they may actually want you to come back and work longer hours on a different day. It makes it very difficult for family life, even more so if you're on your own. So I would say if you are single, please bear that in mind. It's not an easy choice, and a lot of the work is obviously seasonal, which means longer hours in the summer and no work in the winter. So bear that in mind. That's one of the things I wanted to bring up today. Oh, the water. Because there's been some sort of contamination at the reservoir when we had some heavy rain. What was it? Last year, wasn't it? Yeah, it was last year. So April's with me today. We've been trying to get the water containers instead of going to the supermarket to buy these bottles. But I noticed one of our neighbours, our Spanish neighbours, has the large bottles, the same sort of stuff we normally have in the Philippines, which is the 20-litre containers. Now, when you call and ask them about buying it or whatever, they are adamant that you've got to have this a water dispenser, but you don't need it. You don't need it, especially you don't need an overpriced one from them. You can actually get one yourself. So please be very adamant that you don't want it. I would recommend going on eBay or something. If you're moving over to Spain, order it early. Or just wait until it arrives, because I'll be honest with you, this stuff really annoys me here in Spain. He's turning left, but he indicated at the last second, so he left me stuck. Yeah, so this stuff annoys me in Spain, because a lot of this stuff they will tell you, you have to do this, you have to do that. We don't really have that sort of safety net that you get in the UK, like rogue traders, where you highlight them and you just say that's an absolute lie, get them on video and try to destroy their business and reputation. But this is part and parcel of this channel, is as I find stuff I'll share it. I don't mind sharing things. I mean, the news story out today is relating to the suspension of somebody at Barcelona University. They gave a couple of politicians some 3 degrees. Not 3 degrees as in the ban, but 3 degrees from the university. And the defence of one of the politicians was, well, they never said that to turn up to the exams or any lessons. Well, that's a great defence, but the big question that nobody's even asked is, what did the university get in return? Because I don't think it's been a isolated incident. But anyway, not for me to get involved in Spanish politics, but that was a little bit of the news for today. There was something about Brexit as well. Brexit and Jaguar. Jaguar looking at not renewing contracts for 1,000 people related to the Brexit issue in the UK. That was a little bit of an update this morning. This is the thing, I'll be cautious about whether that had any Brexit bearing whatsoever. There may have been the fact that they didn't need the staff, because it may have been for a particular run. Why I'm mentioning this is there's a lot of FUD, which is it's basically pushing fake media, fear, and all that sort of stuff, where it may not actually have a relative impact. A lot of this stuff is not normally done on the flip of a coin. These decisions are made long term. So if it is done, it's normally stuff that's been ongoing for the last couple of years, or was already expected at the end of the run of a particular vehicle or something. My personal view on Brexit right now is it's just a sit, wait and see. The big problem I have, from my own viewpoint, is that May is not a good leader. And I would say I couldn't name a politician that I find fit to govern the UK and pull it through this difficult time. There's just a whole ream of incompetence and self-serving parasites that sit in politics for us. Not that I'm too fussed, I live in Spain anyway, but the point is, people do ask me what my view is. Am I pro or anti this? My whole point with the UK, and it has been since the beginning, is that the UK needs strong leadership and it lacks it. End of. It's nothing to do whether Europe's good or not. If we had strong leadership, then the tables would have turned a long time ago. But we never have. We've always had very poor leadership out of the UK for a very, very long time. I think the strongest leader, whether we like or loathe her, was Margaret Thatcher. I haven't seen anybody of the same sort of calibre since she's been in power. Nobody's replaced her at the same level. And like I said, like her or loathe her, it's just a reality check. We haven't had a strong leader. Blair may have been charismatic in his time, but we all know he's lied. He's a self-serving parasite. He's made himself wealthy off the back of everybody else, and at the same time he's still interfering in politics, because I think he's one of those ones that's got a price tag on him. Rent a Blair. Have a Blair for the afternoon, because he'll quite simply sell anything if anybody's paying. But anyway, we're nearly at Quesada, and I know that's a bit of a downer on the last bit, but I wasn't complaining. It's just the fact is, I just want people to realise that I don't expect Spain to change that much. I do expect a lot of negative media around Brexit to blame the EU for everything, when in reality we need strong governance in the UK, because it's not just about Brexit, it's about a lot of the other stuff that has not been going on for a long time. The UK has been in decline for a long period of time. It's not being resolved. It's not being corrected. And a lot of it is down to the fact that a lot of people benefit from the condition it's in. For example, the benefits at the level they're at are unsustainable. So I go around once. Yeah. The benefit level is unsustainable, but also you've got the problem that the housing market is artificially inflated. So things like that are not sustainable long term, because you need to have an economy that's actually circulating and generating more revenue. The other thing that's getting generated regularly is more debt. And nobody seems to want to combat the main issues in the UK, which is there's a drive in automation, there's a removal of infrastructure in the sense of farming, industrial innovation, computer innovation, and actually developing a stronger infrastructure and country. While you can pay people to be at home, why are there still these massive potholes people are often mentioning? There is jobs needed, and I'm sure that a lot of people would be more motivated if they had some opportunities, even if it was lower pay. I'm not getting into the low minimum wage argument, but I do think there is some serious issues with the entire economy. But anyway, I'm going to get off politics, but thanks for watching and look forward to seeing you again.